5, 4, 3, 2.
You're listening to the Dox.live on Stranger Than Fiction News, Weekend Edition. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Patrick Maker, and we are going to be talking about net neutrality. So what is net neutrality, Pat?
All right, so net neutrality is basically an internet restriction for internet service providers to make sure that they do not charge additional funds and keep an open internet. So what that means for most people is, us talking on Skype here, it doesn't cost us any additional money. We don't have to buy the Skype package to talk on Skype here. But that said, with net neutrality lifted, now ISPs have the ability to do so. And that's been a little scary for people, and I've been a huge advocate and activist for this, so...
They basically want to turn the internet into your TV, where you have to subscribe in order to get certain services. What does that mean for our privacy online? Can that be affected by this?
Oh, sure. Well, it definitely gives them the ability to, look deeper into the packets that are shared over their networks. So, it can become a huge privacy thing. But for now, just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean that they're doing it. But, it's very important to protect your privacy. Be careful what you say and do online, because it does really make a huge impact now that they can have the ability to do so, and look deeper into the network traffic, seeing when you're online most, what you're looking at, telling if you're on Tor routing or not. That's very important for keeping yourself private,
Yeah, no doubt. So, what sort of things will also be affected by net neutrality? It's going to be potentially a privacy issue. We're going to have to pay for services. Is there any ideas of how much services are going to be? What it means for the rest of the internet that may not be on these services?
Well, that's the thing, right? So, it's happening over here in the States, and now that net neutrality is no longer a thing, they're going to be putting an awful lot more, a lot more packages together. We don't really know what those are going to look like until next month, because April's really when those, rules start taking effect, or those lack of rules. So, we're keeping a huge eyeball on this. Myself, my team, and several others are, in the dredges of the internet, trying to keep the research going and trying to keep the pressure on the ISPs. Like, hey, if you do this, you're lighting a match. And, we're going to sit here and trump you. No pun intended.
No doubt. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I've heard a little bit about net neutrality, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. As far as how it works, what it really means to people. So, Is this something that they're going to be putting in next month? Is this something that is already been decided on, or?
Yeah. So, December, the decision went through. We were relying on a kind of obscure law called the Congressional Review Act, that says any regulation can be overturned within 60 days with enough congressional power behind it. But unfortunately, there's about one congressman or senator shy of having that CRA resolution to net neutrality. So it looks like it's going to stay, not a utility for regular common folks, and businesses alike. It's not just, the internet doesn't just run households, but it also runs businesses. So folks that are consuming a lot of bandwidth will probably be affected. Again, it gives them the ability to say, okay, if you guys are using Google for your search, you're going to have to subscribe to the Google plan to allow you to do that. So like all the free services that Google offers, you may be getting charged extra money to use them anyway.
So what does that mean for like just having to check your email, or if you're using Google Maps? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it means that you may be getting a new package to be able to use those same services that you're regularly using today. Even just like, not just like your desktop and laptop and tablet, computers, but like your mobile devices, like they could be doing the same thing across the cellular network, which also provides internet. So you may have to buy a special package for your mobile phone. That's a different package from your desktop to be able to access these same services that you've been able to use right along. Isn't that just like a completely obscure thought?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
which is why we're so far.
Right? People are already paying for data on their phones, so now they're going to have to pay for being able to
data
use
plus
basic internet.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like that's the eventuality of it, right? And it's just the beginning. So, I mean, they may hit you with like only $1 or something to say, it's only $1. I'll pay that. But then all of a sudden the price hikes start coming up. It's kind of like when we built the, some of the bridges around here in New York, right? So they said, oh yeah, no, we'll only charge a toll until the bridge is paid for. Well, the bridge never got paid for, and that toll that was $1, 30 years ago is now like $10 now. So I assume that the same kind of trend is going to be following. But I can tell you that me and my team are certainly putting a ton of pressure on these folks, because it's really just it's not fair. To say, okay, well, we're going to give, our streaming, platform more preference than, say, YouTube. Because it's YouTube and we want to promote ours more, so we're going to charge YouTube extra money to actually be on our platform, because we can actually restrict that from you now. And then, spokespeople from these ISPs are saying, oh, no. They're being paid to say that, and chances are the people that are saying it don't even know. It's really, it's up to the powers that be that are going to make these decisions for us. And, that's one thing that I really hate about it, is that, decisions get made for us. And they're supposed to be benefiting us or benefiting someone else, and that's kind of where the fight lies, right? Is these powers that be said, hey, Japai, here's some money, you're our ex-lawyer, let's get this net neutrality thing out of the way, shall we? And he's like, oh yeah, of course, and despite a lot of efforts, he decided to vote in the way of removing net neutrality and lifting that veil. So I mean, we're still going to be on the ground working this thing, but yeah, I mean, it really does. It opens up the what? It's not even that it just opens up. It kind of takes away the ability. Like, you can go online and learn carpentry. Okay, and then be able to take the tests, online, or find classrooms online. Now, the ISP can say, oh, well, you need the tradesman package so you can go learn something. You're taking away the ability and the opportunity for learning. And then that is something I hold most dear. I mean, I have a 3-year-old at home, and my biggest goal in life is to give him better opportunities than I had. And I think that's really what all parents want, is to give their kids, the most opportunity, and that's worth fighting for. And with net neutrality gone, it kind of leads to the opportunity of that getting taken away. And that's a little scary, knowing, like, we already have enough, people walking around just going to work day in and day out and think that they just need to pay bills and a mortgage and taxes, and that's going to be the summation of their life. We have enough of that going on around us, and things like net neutrality, had a small way of lifting that from us. But be that as it may, I mean, the fight's still there. A lot of states have decided that they're going to maintain net neutrality on the state level, so they're not going to be allowing, these companies to, filter our internet and give us separate channelized packages for different communications media. And, it really comes down to, look, information is how we learn and grow, and the ability to learn and the ability to apply that information to our lives and create knowledge is under threat right now. And whether you guys understand that or not, that is a really big issue, because it takes away your ability and your opportunity. And I'm sorry, but that's worth fighting for at every level.
So where can people find you on the internet to join your cause, or to help out, or share ideas? Where can people get a hold of you, Pat?
Honestly, the best thing, it's not just getting a hold of me. I would say the best thing to do is really put the pressure on Congress while we still can. We have like 30 more days. And that's that hashtag one more vote. And it's across every social media platform. Look, if you're really having a hard time finding, ways to stand up and advocate and things like that, you can always go to SaveTheNet.com, and that is, the platform for advocacy. And, we have 200 or 300 businesses, actually several thousand people that have joined up on that to really make a difference. And you know what? We put a ton of pressure. I mean, we had 25 million people that joined up on that in the span of about 3 months. So that's just a huge effort. And I mean, like, I can't even say like that's my effort. I mean, I'm just out here advocating, right? But there are so many people that have joined up, and so many people, and I'm saying from all walks of life. I'm talking about people that actually work in the government signed up on this thing. It's pretty crazy, but I that's where you start. And I mean, if you want to talk with me about it, I mean, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Patrick Maker. I have a public profile page. I have a personal profile page if you want to see pictures of my kid and my dog and some of the stupid memes that I pull off online. I'm on Twitter. I'm on just about every platform there is. I think I'm even on Xbox Live still, and PlayStation Network. Not that I'm on there very often, but you can always reach out to me. You can also reach out to me, 1xghost01@gmail.com. I use that for a lot of my communications. That's just that's a great way for me to get an email to me. But yeah, I mean, we're really trying to save the internet here. We've had like some really heavy players, that'll remain nameless, but, have stepped in, both from the lawmaker side and the hacktivist side. And it's interesting, the combination, to see them both working together towards the same goal. One thing that we never really saw that could ever happen, but it is. But needless to say, that's net neutrality, and we're going to continue fighting it on the state level. And the ISPs are really in for a long haul if they think that they're just going to be pushing over on people again. You're going to see a huge resurgence in hacktivist groups. I can tell you that much right now, and we're seeing that on the landscape as well. So I really appreciate you for inviting me down on here to describe net neutrality, and decide some of the higher points and lower points, and what are some of the issues that can come out of it, and what some of the options are.
Definitely, and thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for Stranger Than Fiction for hosting the Dox.live. This is our first broadcast on the platform. Ron will be back as he always is, but we appreciate him allowing us to have this time slot so we can get some of these other issues out into the public domain. Make sure to follow the Dox.live on all your social media. We're on all that shit. Facebook, YouTube, whatever. We're on that shit. And check out stfnreport.com to stay up to date. We were having problems going live earlier today on Facebook because of
Facebook.
Yeah, they're trying to keep us off. But once again, we're breaking down the back door to get you this broadcast today. So, you know, if the page ever goes down and you need to find us, make sure you check out stfnreport.com to stay up to date with the recent news from Stranger Than Fiction. Thank you guys so much for having us on your channel. Check out the Dox.live. And thank you, Patrick, for being here today.
All right, you're welcome, man. Anytime. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon.
And if you're listening to this, you are the Resistance.